All right, let's start with some announcements really quick to kind of explain some of the handouts. You will see something that says CMS Assessment Correction Guidelines. Um, that is not due for a week and a half. Tuesday, September the 20th is not this coming Tuesday, but the Tuesday following that. Which gives you basically a week and a half. That will probably be the day we do retesting for the all the unit assessments. In Unit 1, if you need to retest on any unit assessment, you will not be allowed to unless you're turning that in that day. You do not turn it in that day, you will not be allowed to retest. Okay, I want it done. Even if you made a 92, shouldn't take you very long. I want you to correct anything you missed. I want you to correct anything you missed, other than bonuses. I don't care about bonuses.
Oh,
okay. Now, if you want to try the bonuses, you're welcome to, because I did put the answer keys on there. Please read the instructions and make sure you follow the instructions to the letter. But I want anything corrected. Unit 1 is difficult, but is critically important to the rest of the course. You have to know how to multiply exponents. You have to know how to divide exponents. You have to know how to do the powers. You have to know how to do all those things. Okay? Any questions or corrections? Okay, so you should have your test back, and you should have your correction sheet back. Okay? So do not lose them. Didn't you pick it up yesterday after school?
down there.
Right, I know that. Okay, so again, I say you should have your tests. Okay? Does anybody not have their tests? Cool. Okay, so put those things away. You had your review that you got yesterday. Remember that review is due on Tuesday when you walk in. Not, you have a couple more to do, so you come in and start working on it. The minute you walk in the room, I want that review done. It's 5 days. You should have that done, no problem. So number 1 on the warm-up, it is a division problem, and there are a few rules we should remember on the division problems before we really get started doing our thing. What should we do first, Tristan? Cancel out the zero guy. Right? Cancel out the zero guy. Very good. Joey?
We gotta move the negatives.
Move the negatives. Now again, I either want you to rewrite it, or I want you to neatly move them and cross them out. I do not rewrite, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't, if that makes you feel better. What I do is I will underline the guy with the negative exponent, and then I'll move it and cross it out. Underline the guy with the negative exponent and move it and cross it out. And when I move it, you notice I remove the negative sign, right? That's the purpose of moving it. So now we're going to go through the process of asking ourselves, where are there more and by how many? And we need to go alphabetically so that we write it appropriately, right? Where are there more and by how many on the A's?
At the top.
Top by 1. B's? All on the bottom 6. And C's?
Top by 4.
Done. Draw your fraction line, and you are done.
Yeah.
Draw your fraction line, and you are done.
Yeah.
Okay? What's the math in number 2? It's multiplication. It's basically one big, long multiplication problem. Now, multiplication, we're going to go ahead and multiply. We're not going to move any negatives because that just makes it more complicated. Bless you. In fact, if we move negatives, we really turn them into fractions. We don't want to do that yet. Okay? So we're just going to do it one bite at a time. Joey, you have a question?
No.
Okay. So, numbers first.
-14.
Thank you. X's.
X4.
Good. And y to the
Negative.
-2. Now, we need to fix. Carden, how do we fix it?
Put -14 X4 and then put a fraction line and then under it get y to 6.
That's perfect. That is exactly right. Exactly right. We do not move negative coefficients. We only move things with negative exponents, right?
Yeah.
This is a big part of the test. You have to know how to multiply. Okay? We had a lot of people show up for tutoring yesterday, which is kind of nice to see, and I think it helped them get a better grasp of what was going on. If you did not show up for tutoring, guys, and you didn't do well on the test, you're spinning the wheel. Okay? Yes, sir.
Now this is a song you can jam to.
This is a song you can jam to.
Yum.
Alrighty, so let's review from yesterday. Before you do anything, what is the absolute first thing I want you to do? Madison?
If you have something outside,
Nope. Sadie? Make all the good square root list. Make the good square root list. It is an absolute. Square root of 4, square root of 9, square root of 16, square root root of 25, square root of 36, square root of 49, square root of 64, square root of 81, square root of 100. There it is. And I'm looking for the largest one that goes into 192 evenly. Now, guys, I can tell you, I'm a pretty good math guy, and I do not know all the factors of 192 off the top of my head. So, how can you find the factors of 192 so that you know if it's on the list, Avery? Calculator. You go to the calculator. You type in y equals 192 divided by x. Then you go to the second graph, which gives you the table. And if you will do that, and you will look on the y side of the table, it will list your factors from greatest to least. It'll start with that, you know, the error is always the first one because it's error and 0, right? Then it's 192, and it's going to list them down, and you're looking for the first one that's on this list. And what did you find, Ethan? It's 64, and it's 64 times 3. The good square root goes on the left. Square root of 64 becomes 8. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, root 3, and you are done. Okay? Any questions on what we did yesterday? Okay, so today we're going to do simplifying radicals day 2, which is where we're just going to take it up one additional level. I am still going to need this, so I am going to copy it and bring it with me here. Ta-da! Magic. Now let me explain something. Y'all starting to get on those calculators. It's on the board.
He's on the board.
Here, we'll just make this. Starting next week, if I'm speaking and you get up to get the calculator, I'm going to tell you to sit back down. You will not have to calculate that entire day. Read the boards. Thank you. How do we know if we can add or subtract numbers? I don't know if we can add or subtract terms. They have the exact same last name, right? And we know that if we have 4x minus 3x, it is simply 1x, right? Let me show you something. If you have 4 times the square root of 2 minus 3 times the square root of 2, it operates just like terms. They have the same last name, and that's your answer. So what happens whenever we see little expressions like this, can we subtract them as is? No, but we can simplify things. Like if we were to take 2 times the square root of 28, and we were to do what we learned yesterday, we would end up with 4 times 7, which is 2 times 2 root 7, which is 4 root 7. Which means that this is the same as this, and may be substituted. So what we end up with is 5 times the square root of 7 minus 4 times the square root of 7, which is 1 times the square root of 7, or simply the square root of 7. Like terms now. Like terms. Try number 2. Now remember, you look at the radicals and your first question should be, can I simplify that radical? Some you can, some you can't. Sometimes you have to simplify both, sometimes you only have to simplify one. But use your knowledge from yesterday and simplify it. Just be very careful. I would caution you against trying to do it all underneath this. I would move them off to the side and do them and then bring them back. Okay? That's what I would do. Yes, sir? Oh, what does it say on your... Crazy. Hold, I'll rewrite it to y'all. Number 2 is negative 6 square root of 5 plus 7 square root of 125. Gotcha. Thank you. All right, y'all can do what's on your paper. What is negative 6 plus 35?
29.
What did you do wrong? Was it an addition problem? My bad. No, look up. What was taking you so long? My fault. Apologies. Oh, let me see if these match. Oh. Yes. And yes. Okay.
What was the answer,
It was 29 root 5. Because negative 6 plus 35 is 29. And this is where we showed our work there. Okay? Just take your time. And if you need a little scratch piece of paper, we're really not use scratch piece of paper. But like on number 3, watch how you can just kind of do it off to the side. I'll do number 3, I'll do 4. So watch. On number 3, I have negative root 12. So I come over here and I'll write negative root 12. And I split it into negative root times square root. What do you think I'm going to use? 4 times 3. Because the square root of 4 is 2. So it becomes negative 2 times the square root of 3. So I know that this is the same as this. Now I need to go with the other side. Negative 2 root 48. Now I'll show you a quick cheat. Cheating is not a good word. But if I did this one right, what do I think is going to be the bad square root over here? It's going to be 3. Because otherwise there'd really be no point in me giving you the problem, right? So I'm going to go backwards. 3 and 3 times what is 48?
60.
Ah. Look at that. Reasoning. Ooh. So, negative 2 times 4 root 3, negative 8 square root 3, and so I can bring it all back. Now, I want you to watch when I bring it back what I have to be careful about. What's the sign? Yeah, so basically, it becomes negative 2 times the square root of 3 minus negative 8 times the square root of 3. Well, we know that we can change, we can change the subtracting to negative to adding a positive through those inverse operations, and we end up with 6 times the square root of 3. You try 4. Take your time, go slowly, make sure you account for negatives and positives and all the fun stuff. This is a great song. I saw it in a concert when I was a sophomore in high school. And I distinctly remember because I went with my senior English teacher. I did. What does that mean? Hillary Kilpatrick.
Oh, is that what?
No, I went with, it was like me and a buddy, but like in my mind, it was kind of like in my mind, it was like we were on a date. Hello? Yes. Uh-huh. It's a 7th grade. It's a 7th grade. You can do that now. That's good. No, they're in school. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. God. Anybody do anything really fun this weekend?
No.
Where y'all going camping?
Oh, I'm doing a cross country. I was there Wednesday when they planned it. I'm doing a cross country.
What?
We're doing cross country meet at Myers.
Yeah, Sunday is Grandparents' Day. Sunday is Grandparents' Day. It's National Grandparents' Day, so call your grandparents. Yes.
Okay, I think that's
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, it will.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Why?
Because I think we're gonna get a flood load of rain, and Myers Park turns into a swamp.
Rain doesn't matter. It's just like,
rain doesn't matter. We're still running.
Okay, I'm telling you, I don't think it's gonna happen.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen either.
But I'll tell you what, if it does happen, take 2 ginormous trash bags and a change of clothes, because your parents will want
She
you to
said
go.
there's nowhere to change.
That's what I told her to tell y'all this morning. No, but we have a car. You can get in the back of the car, take everything off, leave it in the bag, and put on fresh clothes. That's what I would do, because you get muddy. All right, everybody done?
No, it's not.
People, come on, I'm gonna give you one more minute. My cake, I gotta hustle up.
What the heck, misters? Oh, running club? I mean, not running club.
One time I went like this, and they went, "Is he?" And I was like, "No, sorry." Whoops. Okay. So don't look up if you're still working. Oh, I'm just gonna do this. This is what goes up. Joey, lips.
Sorry.
16 times 2.
Can I help?
Okay, so that's what I've got. So that becomes, don't look up unless you want the answer, I think. Okay, don't yell out because some people are still working and won't go look up. Okay, so all in all, guys, I think if you understood yesterday, today's actually a pretty straightforward day. Now remember, you have classwork and homework. Today you have classwork and homework. I'll put the classwork answer keys out. Y'all will do that, check them, jump into your homework. Most importantly, anybody else still working? Okay, you still working? Okay. Most importantly, remember this weekend, if it does rain, you have a review you should be working on, right? Yes, ma'am.
So if we're not gonna be here Tuesday for band pictures?
Yes. That's a very good point. So on the band kits, because Mr. Williams and I talked, I think he's going to announce it today if he didn't yesterday. He probably didn't yesterday. He will today. You will still be taking the test on Wednesday, so the review answer key will be on the website on Tuesday morning bright and early. So when y'all get home, you need to take your review. If you haven't already compared it to a friend's, which you're welcome to do, if you still haven't, go to the website and use the key to make sure you figure out what you did right and wrong. Okay? So the expectation is you're still going to test on Wednesday. You can just use the website. If you can't get to the website or you have a problem, if you'll stop by my room when y'all get back from your pictures, I'll give you a copy of the review key. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, did you check yours? You good? All right. So those are the things. So the first one is about the assessment form. Read it. Review due on Tuesday, and blah, 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 blah. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, you are done. Get on your class.